You being Zambian enough is not based on whether you watch a certain TV
Show or
show.
not.
You understand that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's being, I think, subjecting people to a wrong standard.
that's true.
Yes.
But I watch football, so I think that not
Which football?
watch like when the Zambian team is playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also know
Name one player in the Zambian national team, the current national soccer team for males.
For males. A lot of names are coming. Miguel Chaiwa.
There's Miguel Chaiwa.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
There's Miguel Chaiwa.
There's Miguel
We're asking the wrong person. Okay.
Joseph Sawobo Banda.
Okay.
Emmanuel Banda.
There are a lot of bandas in the national
I know.
team.
There's a lot of Easterners. Patson Daka.
Yes.
Patson Sakada.
Yes. There's also Lamek Banda, not so?
Lamek Banda, yes.
Yeah.
There's Lamek Banda. I think there's a lot of Easterners
Okay.
in the new national team.
Okay. That's good. Maybe we'll win the World Cup with that combination. Yeah.
I will not comment on that.
You will not comment.
No.
Okay, no comment. I know what that means.
No comment.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the ZED Education Podcast. My name is Andrew Banda, and I'm glad that we are sitting yet again for a great conversation. Now, our guest today, she brings in heart and brains. So now that combination, brains and heart, be mindful of what is going to happen next. Now, before I introduce my guest today, I want to make a shout out to our sponsors, Tamani International School. Thank you very much for making this possible. And if you're a parent looking for a great school, visit Tamani International School right in the heart of Lusaka, Kabulonga. Like I said, our guest today, before all this, I was like, I'm going to enjoy this episode because she came saying, "Oh, I wore these heels because of this show, so you're not going to cut me." So
Can we have a wide angle?
yes, I got make sure that we have a wide angle so that we can get. Is this
the shoes?
Yes.
Yes.
I think we should have, those fashion shows where they have like a shoe booth,
Yeah.
and every celebrity kind of does. Yes.
Yes. Let's
So
do that.
go make sure that the shoes come out. Olivia, hi.
Hi, and thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So before you came in, maybe a month or two ago, somebody inboxed me to say, I think you should host this lady.
Yeah.
Now, the way they said it, they said, "Do you know Olivia Tutu?" I was like, "No, who's that?" Because I was thinking maybe you are in cinema or just something. Then they said, check our Facebook page. So I said, "Can you please send it?" Then it was sent to me. Then I looked, okay, good following. And everything was about youths and education advocacy. I was like, okay. Then Kato followed up, and finally we couldn't get you last month, even in I think December or so. Yes.
Last year. I think last year was very busy. Towards the end of the year, there was so much going on.
Okay.
And just transitioning into the new year and ish. And also my responses have been very terrible. I think I'm more consistent with emails compared to WhatsApp. So it was really hard to keep up in terms of communication.
Okay.
But I'm here today.
Yes. Thank you very much for working and welcome.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Thank
So let's talk about Olivia Tutu.
Tutu.
It's Tutu.
Olivia Tutu.
Tutu. I think the spelling was wrong here and that was given. So Olivia Tutu. I love the Tutu. Like it's
It's my last name.
It's your last name.
Yes.
So if I were to open a company, a fashion line,
Right.
call it Tutu Fashions.
Tutu Fashions.
Yeah.
Tutu Fashions. I think that's actually a good thing.
It's a good.
Tutu Fashions.
Okay. So Olivia, I have a lot that I've checked out on you. First of all, you are a strong youth development advocate,
Right.
Education advocate. You've been in and out of the country and doing some great things in our country. Before all that, can you give us at least a sneak peek of who Olivia is? Are you Zambian?
I am very much Zambian. I was born and raised in Zambia. My parents are Zambian.
Okay. Why the pause?
So my mom is originally from Malawi and my dad is originally from South Africa.
Okay.
But my grandparents settled in Zambia. So both my parents were born in Zambia and I was born in Zambia. So I'm practically Zambian.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I looked at your son and when you corrected me, and I'm thinking, do you know Desmond?
Desmond Tutu.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody asks me if I am the granddaughter and all of that. Guys, I went to South Africa last year and unfortunately...
Tutu is like Banda.
No,
Okay.
but no, he's actually very respectable and because he contributed a lot to the struggle for their independence and upholding human rights and all of that. But I'm not directly related to him.
Okay.
But in a way, I am related.
Okay, so I take it you also get a lot of people asking you if you're
Yes.
related to Mr. Desmond Tutu.
Yes,
Okay.
all the time.
Okay, so you're not related.
Yes and no.
Okay, because we don't know how far the lineage
How far,
goes.
yes.
Okay.
So I didn't quite have the time to do like an ancestral research and all of that. So I'm hoping once time and resources allow, I would do that in future and just find out.
Okay.
Because I think he's a great man.
Yes, he is a great man. I have some fun questions for you, and you don't have to blink before you answer. You just have to answer it quickly.
Okay.
So let's go. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Ice cream or porridge?
Ice cream.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone all time.
All time. That's a strong. This is
iPhone.
okay. What's with you people and iPhones? I still don't get it.
I think it's more of a lifestyle than
It's a lifestyle
product.
thing.
Yeah, it's more of a lifestyle. And once you're introduced to a lifestyle, you really can't go back from it.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
when you go black, you can't go back.
Yeah.
The next question that I'm going to ask is swimming or cycling?
Swimming.
Singing or poetry?
Poetry.
Shima or rice?
Shima.
Zambia or South Africa?
Zambia.
Where was the pause though?
I just wanted to be sure of what I'm picking.
Okay.
Zambia.
Okay. So my first question now officially is, if young Olivia were to meet the advocate who I'm hosting today,
Ooh.
what advice would the current Olivia give to the young
Olivia. I think it's more of have audacity and confidence.
Mm.
And also one of the things that I always tell everyone, we're all doing life for the first time. Yeah.
Okay.
I think growing up, I was very shy. I was very kept to myself.
That's hard to believe.
I know. And I just thought everyone else knew better but me. So I
Okay.
didn't speak up much. And I just didn't think a lot of things where I was permitted to do a lot of things.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I would say confidence, audacity, and just remember that we're all doing life for the first time.
Okay. And Olivia, were you raised in Lusaka, Copperbelt, or Eastern Province?
I was... Why Eastern Province though?
Because your
So I
mother was...
Oh yeah, Malawi. Okay, that makes sense. So I was raised between Lusaka and the Copperbelt province.
Okay.
So I was born in Kitwe, at Kitwe Central Hospital. And then my mom and I moved to Lusaka when I was 6. And then from 6 years old to 14, I was in Lusaka, but I would always visit my grandmother in Kitwe. And then in 2015, when I was 15, I moved back to Kitwe. I did high school from there and moved back to Lusaka December of 2017. And I've
Okay.
been in Lusaka since.
Okay. Which schools did you attend?
I went to my first ever school. I can't remember the name, but I started in Kitwe. And then when I came to Lusaka, I went to St. Edmund's.
Okay.
It's a Catholic school in Matero. And then I went to Chingwele Basic School in Matero. That's where I did grade 3 to grade 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then in grade 8 and 9, I was at St. Monica Girls. That's in Matero again. And then in grade 10 to 12, I was at Helen Kaunda Girls School in Kitwe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So...
And then I went to Unza for university.
Okay, so I was asking you about options, tea or coffee. So if I said Kitwe or Lusaka, which one would you pick?
Lusaka any day.
Really? She's a traitor, this one.
Like
I thought you said
funny
Kitwe.
is-
Okay.
Kitwe is, there's nothing there for me. there's nothing there for me. And I think Kitwe was for my formative years.
Okay.
But also there wasn't, I think there's nothing that I can point at that I would want to return back for.
Okay.
But for Lusaka, I have built networks, I have built friendships, I have and also almost all my friends that were in Kitwe are now in Lusaka. Yes, so most of the connection and part of my close family is in Lusaka as well. So Kitwe, there isn't much for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lusaka is the place for me.
Do you have any memorable experience that you had in Kitwe that you could share with us?
I think the first time I went on radio, it was 2016. 10 years ago. It was 2016.
So you have your anniversary here.
Yes, yes. So it was 2016 on International Children's Day of Broadcasting in March, at the first Sunday of March. And I remember at the time, I always wanted to like do radio, do TV, and just like be fun and exciting. But I just didn't have the confidence. And then I remember at the time, there was this organization called Children's News Agency that was recruiting kids, young reporters and all of that. So then they said on International Children's Day of Broadcasting, we're going to Flavor FM. And they wanted someone to anchor a show. Okay. And I remember I didn't really know what I was doing, but I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. So I go there, and then I think at the time we had things called play moms and all of that. So I told my play mom. Then my mom couldn't listen because Flavor is just in Yeah. So I told my grandmother, I told everyone, and then I was so nervous and scared. But I remember when I got off radio, the first thing that my play mom at the time told me was, you were amazing. I think you should speak some more. And so for me, I was just like, oh, so people want to listen to me. And I think that's where I began finding my voice, because from then I then joined the debate club at school. And we did a lot of debates at CBU as well with like university students. And at the time it was a big thing because you're in high school and you're debating with, at
the university.
Yeah. So it was really, that was like a defining moment for me to say, the world wants to hear you speak. So you should speak up some more. Okay. Yeah.
So that what acknowledgement by your play mom?
Yes.
Do you remember her name? Because
Unfortunately, I don't remember her, but I still have a vivid picture of her. So the funny thing is, she was actually a student teacher at my school. So just doing her attachments. And I think I liked how she spoke, how she carried herself. So when she came to class, I was like, oh my God, I really, really like you. Can you be my play mom? And then she was like, yeah. And then every time she'd call me, baby, you've got this. Like, you have to be strong. You can do this. But also, that's like one of the people that really believed in me before I could believe in myself. So when I got off radio and she told me that, for me it was like, okay, she's just confirming this. Okay. I wish I could remember her.
So one of the things that I liked in school is debate. Not that I was a debater, no. Right. But I like to see other people just debate and the banter. So would you give us one of the lines that you'd use when you were young, if you can remember? I remember judges, timekeeper, to all of you, I salute.
I remember. There was this one that I used to do. No, I don't think I can remember.
No, just a line. I remember with perpendicular, I stand perpendicular to the ground, proposing to this motion that Olivia Tutu should give us something like that. I still remember those things.
I don't, because all the time. So the thing is, it took me a while before I could get confident with speaking. And one of the things that I always tell people is that I actually don't even like speaking, even to date, but I just have to. Okay. So most of the times I was always the summarizer because I hate being interjected. So I would always be the summarizer and I would just say, oh, protocol observed. And then I go into debating my emotions. So I didn't really have the whole perpendicular before I stand under PA and reappear. It was always just get to the point and go. Because also that was the time when I was still trying to find myself. So again, I wasn't sure what I was allowed to do. And I just felt like I wasn't allowed to make mistakes. Okay. So I wanted everything I did to be on point.
So are you a perfectionist then?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Did you have a moment where maybe you lost a contest and you broke down, and what did that do to you?
I think that was a moment when I wasn't best speaker. But like we won, but I just wasn't best speaker.
And you were not happy.
And I wasn't happy. I remember they said, so they tell you the winners. No, they start with the best speaker. And then they mentioned my name first. And I'm like, it's not supposed to be the other way around. You're supposed to mention the second best speaker and then the first best speaker. And then my name came first. And then I was just like, oh, it stung. But I think the moment that I lost that really defined me was when I contested to be head girl and I wasn't picked. I remember I cried.
I see.
I cried. And then also what made it worse was the fact that they had to create a position for me.
Just to manage your emotions.
I don't know if they wanted to manage my emotions, but I remember my headmistress at the time said, you were really good, but because of my track record, I just wasn't fit to be head girl.
What was your track record?
Are we doing that?
Yes. Because I'm curious what was your track record, considering that you had that Kakopala
No, and it's actually. So the thing is, when I went to the Copper Belt, I really couldn't fit in because I didn't know how to speak the Deep Bemba, and the girls at my school would speak the Deep Bemba.
Okay.
So I tried to speak English, and then they would make fun of how I pronounce certain words and all of that, saying I sounded like a cartoon. So, like Copper Belt girls are mean. But what happened was when I went to school in grade 10, I was quiet and trying to observe everyone. And then grade 11, I became a verbal bully. Please don't bully. Like, it's really not cute. But like, it wasn't necessarily bullying. I would just make fun of how people pronounce certain stuff. And then if you've been to the Kobe Belt, you know that a lot of people have the OR syndrome.
Yeah.
So obviously...
I was born and raised in the Kobe Belt.
Yeah, and then the HS syndrome as well. Someone would say house instead of house.
Yeah.
And so...
How call you?
How call you? So I would make fun of the student teachers. I would bully the teachers. And whenever they said something that wasn't correct, like I would want to show off, because I think bullies most of the times have a lot of insecurities that they're hiding.
Yes.
So for me, because I couldn't speak up as much as I wanted to, I channeled my energy somewhere else. So I remember in grade 11, term 2, we were asked to call our parents because apparently I was in the black book.
Not apparently, you were in the black book.
No, but the good part is I gave them my mom's number, and then my mom was like, I'm in Lusaka, I can't come. Yeah, so, but then I was summoned to the headmistress' office, and then I was lectured, and they said if I ever did anything wrong at school, I was going to be expelled.
Okay.
So then I had to change my ways. And then after I changed my ways, I joined the Children's News Agency, and then the radio thing happened. Then I joined debate. So I became a good kid, right? And then I started going to Scripture Union as well. And then, so when I then submitted my name to be head girl, they were like, you're really good. We like your confidence. We like your charisma. But because of this...
Because you used to laugh at the teachers.
Yeah, because now the teachers, because you go there, they ask you, they interview you, and some of the teachers that I made fun of were there. So they were like, nah, this one,
she can't.
So that really broke me.
Okay.
I cried.
Okay, so you've always had this propensity or affinity for leadership.
I would say so, because I think even I was a Sunday school teacher at age 12. So I would teach like little kids. I loved kids at the time. I would like teach little kids Bible stories.
At the time, you don't like them now. Kids are adorable.
They are beautiful.
So what has changed? Because I can listen. So do you know the disadvantage with you? You are well articulated. I don't know if that's correct. So I can hear everything you are saying.
Okay.
For someone who was in Matero, it's surprising. You speak good English.
So I still love children, but I think my heart is somewhere else now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think I would sit and teach kids, but at the time I would sit and teach kids.
So you don't have the patience now.
Now, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so I used to teach kids when I was 12 years old, Sunday school, and even when I went to the Copper Belt at age 15, I would still teach my Sunday school at the Sunday school at my church.
Okay.
And then also it's just been that thing of wanting to nurture people and share what I know to help another person be better. So I would say it's been there because I think even in grade 6, 7, I was Monches of my class. So it's always been just trying to help students be better, but also just be the bridge between teacher, student, the older generation, the younger generation as well.
University.
Oh, UNZA was fun. Was it? It was fun. So I went to UNZA in 2020 during COVID time. So
the COVID.
We had the COVID intake.
Yes, intake. Okay.
So it was fun. I went to UNZA and I was very excited. I remember I moved in on campus, and then a week later they're saying, no, you have to go back home because now COVID is spreading. I'm like, what do you mean?
I just arrived.
And that was like my first time away from home, because I had never been to boarding school and all of that. So I was looking forward to the freedom, and everyone kept on saying UNZA is a whole country on its own. I wanted to experience that. But then fast forward, we were sent back home. I did my first year at home, so I didn't get to experience school. And then second year, we moved back to campus. That's when I got to see the life of UNZA. And it was quite beautiful. I think one of the notable things that I did was I joined the UNZA Beka. UNZA Beka is the Economics and Business Association of... There I served as the director of programs. And then I also was hosting the show, The Economy and You. So this was basically a students' show where they were bridging the theory we were learning in school and the practical that was in the real world, and would have different people from banks, the economic space, to just basically give us the perspective of what's happening out there. And then also I used to host a show. I was co-hosting actually a show with a friend of mine called The Lunch Plate. So it was coming every Wednesday.
What was that about?
So basically talking about women issues. And and at the time I was so big on talking about why I hated men. It was so sad. Like we would always talk about that.
Why you hated men? Do you still hate men?
No, I don't. I actually don't. I think men are like very interesting beings that should be studied away from the entire
and appreciated.
And appreciated too. I think I just had misplaced priorities.
Hallelujah.
I just had misplaced priorities with regards to like the whole gender thing. And then I also joined Corporals when I was at UNZA.
Oh, Corporals. Okay. I think that youth, sexual reproductive health.
Yeah, sexual reproductive health. I started my advocacy at Corporals. 2020, they trained us to be peer educators. And then I think we also did a show at UNZA Radio around sexual reproductive health. And then we also did a lot of outreaches, adolescent health. I did a lot of that. I hosted their first ever podcast. I hosted their first ever TV show. So it's always been speaking into things that matter to me: sexual reproductive health, young people, mental health. And recently, I think after graduating from UNZA, that's when I also started appreciating the education that I got from there and just throughout life.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a debate around the education sector in Zambia. Of course, we've seen a number of universities that have come on board, and they're highly competitive. Yeah. If it's in law, you find that people would compare to say that other university is doing far much better than UNZA. But of course, people can argue University of Zambia still remains the best university in Zambia. My question to you is, do you think that our education in the university tertiary level is answering the problems that our country needs to attend to? Or are we just graduating people in fulfillment of...
Yes and no. I think I like giving yes and no as the answer, because I think
that's your safe net, by the way.
It's safer being at the the intersection of yes, it's working, no, it's not.
Okay.
But looking at it from a holistic point of view, I think this is a more complex issue to speak about, because we can say yes, the education system is not answering to the questions that we're asking, but also the question is, are our students motivated enough? So I think this is like a two-way street. It's not a one response only. Or
who's supposed to motivate the students? Is it not the problems?
But we do have the problems and we're still not motivated. So at this point,
So we
I'm
need to
not
find
sure.
something else to motivate us.
We need to remind them or show them the more that is out there.
Okay.
Yes. A lot of people have grown up in homes or in setups where go to school, get a job, start helping your family to get out of poverty. Most of us, we're not given the possibilities of life to say education is the pathway that you can use to get whatever it is you want.
Okay.
So our young people are not dreaming big enough. And so the institution of education is reluctant. And this is something that I always say. If we put pressure on policymakers, they will act the way we want them to act.
Okay.
But the problem is we don't have people that are people don't know that they can put pressure and that these people can listen to you and act.
Okay.
So we have to go back to the people and then get them to do what they're supposed to do. Because Olivia alone can't do that. It's the same thing with the education system. You find that you have one smart kid in class who will challenge and question the lecturer. But because the lecturer is not used to that, they'll be like, you are a problem.
It's rude.
Yeah. And sometimes they'll even threaten you to say, if you continue with this mindset, you will not graduate.
You won't go too far.
Yes. And also I think it's also rooted in our cultural upbringing as Zambians.
So how do we break that? Because listen, for us to get to a certain stage, we have to break certain barriers. That's the reality.
Mindset shift. And I know this is a word that has been thrown around.
So do we, continue.
Yeah, this is a word that has been thrown around for quite a long time. Everyone is talking about, we need a mindset shift, yada, yada. But how does the mind shift? The mind shifts when we're having conversations like this.
Okay.
The mind shifts when the people that know better can put themselves out there so that people can see. And one of the reasons why I put my content out there on social media is because I want that young girl who's in Matero, who thinks education is a waste of time, to look at me and say, okay, if Olivia can do it, then I can do it as well. But most of the times, again, we get back to this whole secretive culture where they say, don't tell people what you're about, not keep to yourself. The more people know about you, the more they're going to do ABCD. But for me, you can always curate your content. Content is curated. Like, for example, I can post a vlog about today, but people will not know exactly what I did.
Okay.
Because I went to certain places that I didn't vlog, right? So it's just being intentional. And the people that understand the problem we have the responsibility to shift the mindset of the people. So if you and I notice that the education system is not answering to the questions that it needs to, how do we change that? So we start teaching other young people to say, look, this is what it should look like. So you and I should then pressure those people to ensure that it looks like this. But guess what? Everyone just wants a quick degree. You want a quick degree so that you get your money, you make your whatever, and then you move on. So people won't even question the system because they're just like, hey, if you can't cause it, or rather it's easy.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's a sad and bad mindset to have, and we need to work on that.
Okay. So you are an advocate for education.
Yes.
Okay. I will try and fix on that one before we go any further.
Right.
What area are you pushing? What's your agenda in terms of making sure that policymakers, cooperating partners pay attention to?
Well, so I haven't found an exact niche in terms of education. For me, what I'm saying is, people, let's go to school. Let's go to school. So I haven't really started dealing with the policy aspect and the education implementers like the ministry and other stakeholders. For me, it's really wanting to create the demand. Because remember what I said, if we have 15 people that are questioning why certain things are done the way they are done, then that means it won't be on Olivia to push for certain things.
Okay.
So for me, it's more of, can we remind our people the value that comes with education, the importance of being educated, so that when they go out there and they see something is wrong, they'll begin questioning it as compared to trying to fix, because also there's so much power in numbers. if it's one person speaking about how the education system is bad, they'll just say, Musien. But then if it's 10, 15, 100 of us are saying, no, we want things to change. It's like how back in the day, UNZA students would go to the roadside and the government would respond almost immediately.
Yes.
But if you write an article, you write a letter to them, you do this, chances are high they'll just look at it and say, it's okay. But the power of numbers, I'm not saying people should go to the roadside, but there's so much power when people come together collectively and identify a problem and then begin pushing for change.
You're promoting education. Many people today are educated. They've got degrees, they've got master's degrees, but they're still powerless. Isn't it overrated that we're talking about education? Is the education not a scam?
Education is not a scam. So people treat education as the end product and not a journey. And for me, I always say you have to see it as a journey. So when you start, your point shouldn't be to get the degree, to get the diploma, your question should be, what am I learning in the next 3 years, in the next 1 year, in the next 4 years?
So it's not about
the paper.
I mastered it.
And the sad part is when you find these people and you ask them, most of them don't even know what they mastered, but they mastered it.
And that's the caption. I mastered.
Yeah. So,
okay.
We should get back to enjoying the journey and the process. And for me, I would say if I had to do it all over again, I would.
Okay.
Because I remember my friends would complain, oh my God, I hate UNZA. I can't wait to be done. And I'm just like, oh, I actually like it here. Because I was learning so much. I was discovering myself. How do I work under pressure? What exactly do I want for myself? And even when I learned stuff in class, I would always relate it to like day-to-day realities of life, because I knew that I needed to have my mind transformed. It wasn't about the degree. Well, the degree is a confirmation to say this person has been taught and they learned and all of that. But for me, it was more of what I learned. Because even when an incident happened, I've got a big mouth.
Please. There's an incident that happened here. Yes. So what happened?
It was more of I'm going to get to that.
Okay.
So yeah, for me, education has always been, what can I learn and how can I grow and how can I be better? And maybe because I love conversations, but for me, I feel like if I'm going to go into a class, I want to be able to engage with someone at the end of the day about something. I remember even when I was in high school, I remember studying the heart in biology because I really just wanted to sit with my friends and say, you know what? The heart is quite fascinating, because I wanted to contribute to meaningful conversations and all of that. It wasn't just, I want to get my high school certificate and then move on to university and all of that. It was more of, how am I becoming a better human at the end of the day? And I think if we looked at education from that holistic viewpoint, yes, the degree is very much important. The master's is important. The PhD is important. But is it transforming you on a personal level as well? Because education has to transform you. It has to shape you into a different person. You can't go 4 years and be the same person. Then the problem there is not really the education system. It's also you as an individual.
Yeah.
So most of us I just want to get the paper. And I've also seen competitions on LinkedIn where someone will say, I have 30 certificates. Imagine 30 certificates in Chani, you're still the same person. You know?
I'm gathering certificates.
It's not just about piling up certificates, piling up stuff. It's, if I'm going to do a certificate in human rights, am I going to be a person who's going to uphold human rights?
Otherwise, don't do it.
Otherwise, don't do it. Exactly. So it's more of, how is it transforming you as an individual? And that's the question that most people don't ask. And that's the reason why, for me, I'm saying it's more of creating demand for education, because when you understand why education is important, even when you go to school, you will concentrate. It won't just be because you want to pass an exam, but because you understand to say education is the best equalizer and education can transform my life.
Yeah.
But it will only transform your life if you are transformed as an individual. Because how many people have gotten degrees from UNZA? How many people have gotten degrees from Harvard, and yet they're still the same way?
Still the same,
But then there's people whose lives have been transformed. They'll tell you to say, if it wasn't for education, I wasn't going to be here. I am one of them. I would say if I don't even have good grades. I just have a degree. You know, there's people who graduated with distinctions and merits, and they're still looking for jobs, you know. But because you were focused on the paper and the grades, that you forgot to have that the whole thing you were learning transform you as an individual. So it's more of how is this transforming you, even as you run after that paper. Yes, the paper is important, but I also think being transformed is just as important. Because for me, if I was asked between the paper and transformation, better munipase transformation. Yes.
Okay.
Because I know that there's so much I can do with it. Because it's things like even the UN, and I know probably gonna get
we're getting that's my next.
But even the UN, like even when you're applying at the UN, when the people are reviewing your application, they don't look at the qualifications. They look at your capabilities, the skills you've listed, because they want to know you're an individual that can actually do the work, not just have the paper for it. Yeah.
Speaking to your point, I met someone who told me to say, for us, it doesn't matter whether you're a doctor, professor. The only thing that matters is, can you get things done?
Exactly. Can you get the job done?
So there's something, Olivia. We need to tell the people what, in an age where people will say, you don't really need a degree to make it.
That one, I left the chat.
You left the chat on that one.
Yeah.
Yes, you're educated, but what really matters? You give an example of what the UN looks out for.
Yeah.
So if I'm an educator, so if I'm in a school, I'm running a school, there's a university. What are the skills that our people should get besides just the fact that they're being conferred with this paper
degree?
What are the practical, if we usually say 21st century skills, what are those skills?
Skills. Number one, and funny thing is I'm reading an amazing book right now that has got me thinking. Number one is critical thinking. We have lost the skill of critical thinking as a society, especially with the use of AI. Oh my God, people can't even sit to draft an email. People can't sit to read a document. Someone will just copy it on an AI app and say, read it for me or write it for me. Or, people don't even have their own ideas and their own viewpoints about things. They want to hear from people. They want to hear from ChatGPT. Critical thinking has been lost, and that's where it is at. I feel like we need to get back to critical thinking, because critical thinking then allows us to have things like technological advancement. It's going to allow us to be more innovative. And when you are innovative, you basically ask, why are we doing this? Why can't we do it this way?
The why questions.
Yeah, the why questions. So we have lost the why questions. Like you said, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's quite common. We've seen people in the political space. We've seen people in the education space, in the business space, relationships, pretty much everywhere. Because you don't want to be the odd one out. You don't want to be the one who's asking questions. So you just say, ndima mene vilili. Things have been done like this since time immemorial. Who am I to question things? So we've lost the aspect of critical thinking. We've lost the aspect of people being a little bit more analytical. And now people are focusing so much on making money. You just want, if say someone pays you to cut their hair, you don't really care whether, the hair is fitting their head or if the machine is clean. You just want it and get paid. Get paid, you move on to the next person. So critical thinking is very important, and just people being more analytical and asking the why question, because when you ask the why question, that's where the solutions are coming from. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing it this way? Why are we not doing it this way? So you ask and then you begin to conversate. And also it's the same thing with education. When you're in that space and you're asking, like, for example, at UNZA, it's 50% continuous assessment, 50% exams. So you ask, why has it been done this way? Is it because they want to manage students' stress? Or maybe it is better for the lecturer instead? Why should we do assignments? Why can't we just do presentations? Why are we writing tests? Why can't we just do an entire 100% in the exam? So you begin to ask these things. Why are we being taught this way? Why can't we be taught this way? But most people don't have the time and the space to ask the why question. They don't have the critical thinking aspect. So what they do is, and also again, it's getting back to the whole cultural upbringing that we have in our country, where most of the times you as a young person, you are not allowed to question the older generation. You can't talk back at elders. So even when you grow up and you're an adult yourself, you still can't question certain people that are older than you, because you're thinking, I'm going to be disrespectful. but you also have to understand to say you can question stuff and ask things in a much more respectable way. It's just, oh, doc, why is this done this way? You're trying to understand. But then also the older generation gets upset because growing up they're thinking, I'm older than you can't ask me. This is how things have been done, so we're doing it this way.
Did you ever watch Matilda?
But I don't remember.
Okay, I remember. I think one of the scenes I remember is you are young, I'm old, because she was asking a question. But she's like, why can't I? She's like, you're young, I'm old. And then he said, I'm smart and you're dumb. and that's the attitude where if a child asks questions which are very vital, we kind of suppress their creativity and critical thinking.
Yeah. And I would rather parents just say, I don't know, baby, I'm going to get back to you. Because now you're creating, because also you being honest with them is sparking something. Because it's like, why doesn't mommy know? Why doesn't Professor so know? So now you are giving me much more curiosity to want to research and understand the topic that I'm asking clarity for or answers for. But where you say, shut up, don't do this, don't do that, I think it just suppresses the entire creativity and curiosity and innovation. And for me, my mom really gave me the space. Like my mom would just say, Nshishibe. And for me, I took it as, okay, find out. I will need to research. And I would always be happy to get back home and say, Ma, remember that thing? This. Yeah. So I think it's, let's allow kids, children, adults, youth ask the why question. As hard as that may be, because the more we ask, the more we're learning and the more we are trying to see how we can best contribute to finding better answers and much more innovation towards development of the country.
Do you think as a country we value education?
Yes and no.
No, you're not going to use that. Yes and no. By the way, I need you to speak to both sides. And when I say as a country, because such spaces should now bring out these questions. People who are watching, do you think we can do a poll if we want? Do you think, like, as a country as Zambia, we value education? And just to push you a little bit further, do you know that the investment that we have as Zambia in the education sector is below the standard threshold in Africa? Right. We are way below. So with that in mind, and everything that you have been exposed to, what is your thought on that? Do you think we value education?
We don't, honestly speaking, we don't value education. We don't value education. We don't value research as well, because I've been in spaces where almost all sectors are constantly complaining about not having enough resources that are being channeled towards research and development. So you find that things, the way they were in the early 90s, is the same data and information that people have. And also, like you said, the education budget or the resources that are being put into the education system here is lower compared to the average on the continent of Africa. Yeah. But also that gets back to young people questioning this, right? So again, it gets back to people knowing about these things. Yeah. It's a complex thing, and that's the reason why I said people that know better should champion these things, because there's people that are in positions of power that might not share the same sentiments, and also some might be dogmatic, thinking this is how things have been done since time immemorial. So we need people that are innovative, people that are forward thinking, people that value education to still speak up for the education space. But then again, if there isn't demand for it, then it's pointless for them to allocate a lot of resources. True. Because one would argue to say, why are we putting 10% of the national budget towards education when people don't want to go to school, when people don't want to do the research? So if we create the demand from the local people, it then pushes government to want to act on it. Like the whole idea of free education, it came because there's people that wanted to go to school, but they couldn't afford. Right? So if we continue pushing for more people to want to do research, to want to ask the why questions and find the solution, then government will be compelled to want to get resources, either from internally or externally.
Okay.
So it's really creating the demand for it.
You have worked with UNDP, UNICEF, or the entire UN economy or
the entire UN economy.
yes,
Okay.
she's worked with UNICEF, I'm sure UNESCO, UNDP, all these youth projects, volunteers projects. Tell me more about that. There's a time that I wanted just to work for a UN organization.
Okay.
And my first starting point was the American International School.
Nice.
You get it? So how did you get in? And for somebody who would want to be like Olivia, what are the things that they should look out for? I know you mentioned something else, but give us a true picture of what it is. What are the cheat codes, if there are any?
So funny thing is, I didn't even know that I learned about the UN in school. That's how. So because I see young people telling me to say, "Oh, I learned about the SDGs," and you're the first person that came to mind. I'm like, when I was in grade 11, did I really learn about the UN? Because I don't remember, right? But I think in civic education, there's a chapter about the UN where they teach you about the Security Council, the 5 wings of the UN, and all of that. So, but I wouldn't say I knew about them then. I got to learn about the United Nations in 2022.
As a student?
No, it wasn't even part of school.
Oh, okay.
It was, so I got I don't know what happened, but I just got I opened a LinkedIn account. Then there's this lady who posted that she was serving as the president for the United Nations student chapter at her school. So I was like, oh, this is fun. And then she posted the UN logo, the SDGs. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. But then I didn't do my research and all of that. I was like, okay, I would like to work for the UN. So I just said it passively and then I went on. But I would tell my friends. But then I didn't even know what the UN did. But I just said, I think it's cool. So fast forward to 2022. I think that was around August, September. I got an invite when they were reviewing the cooperation framework for 2022 to all the way 2027. And I was invited. So my thinking...
In what capacity?
That's also... no one knows.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe because when I was at UNZA, I was also the chairperson for the UNZA Response. So this is a group of peer educators on campus that speak about sexual reproductive health. So my thinking is from that capacity, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Because
it should be
to ask anyone.
It should be.
Yeah. So I got an invite later, and I was very excited. I remember I posted about it. I told my mom. I told everyone. I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to be with everyone at the UN. I remember I never used to do makeup. I even did makeup that day because I wanted to have pictures on file. So I attended the event. Then I don't know what happened. I didn't even take pictures. Like that happened. And then in 2023, I went to an SDG summit. So this is a summit that the African Youth SDG Summit. So a friend of mine, Florence, posted about it and said, oh, she's going to be moderating a session, yada, yada. And I'm like, oh my God, I'd like to attend. So I get in touch with her and she says, yeah, I'm going to send you the organizer's details so that you can get in touch with him and see if there's space. So this man says, yeah, there's space, you can come through. So I go there and I find the SDG, they're everywhere. I took pictures there. I was very excited, very happy. I went home. It was a 3-day event, but I only attended day 1.
Okay.
And I think half day of day 3. And then I went back home. I was just like, okay, cool. So then I posted on Twitter to say, I would like to work with or for the United Nations in future. And then I remember people were like, yeah, you can do it. Go for it. Some were sending me links to like UNV and UN careers as well. And just, do apply and all of that. But I never opened any of that. I was just like, they probably want years of experience. They want qualifications and all of that. So then I just like put it there and I pinned it on my Twitter. And I told myself to say, I'm going to come back here when I work for the UN. So fast forward, I get done with university, December of 2023. I'm now thinking, what am I going to do with myself? And at the time, Corporals was saying we can only work with students because that's their primary focus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I need to be in the development space and still create impact, but also look out for a career for myself. So at the time, I was working at EMAC as their social media and content creator manager.
EMAC.
EMAC.
Tech, like
tech.
Oh, EMAC. Okay.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, how about, and then, so one day I'm going to have lunch with a friend of mine, and then I pass by the UN house in Zambia, and then I see the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. I was like, snap, I could actually do a radio show about this. Like I have, I do radio and I want to learn about the SDGs. And my word for 2023 was basics. So every single year I have like a personal word that I ran with. And
Every year?
Every year.
So what's the word for this year?
So the word
Don't
for
mind me
this
asking.
year, so the word for this year is blossom.
Blossom.
Yes.
And last year?
Last year the word was bold.
Boat.
Yes.
Okay, everything is B.
No. So it's just coincidental.
Okay.
Because 2024, it was actually action. So it wasn't like a B. Yeah. Okay. So 2023 was basics, 2024 action, 2025 bold, and then 2026 is blossom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I then reminded myself to say, getting back to the basics, using what I had to get to where I wanted. Then I was like, okay, I can do radio. And then at the time, the manager at Capital FM was very nice to me because I escorted a friend of mine for an interview. So I reached out to her and she was like, yeah, just send us the concept note. And then we're going to see if it's something that we can like have on our radio station. So fast forward, they approved it. Then I called my friend Nora. I'm like, Nora, we're going to be on radio. And she's like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, we're going to talk about the SDGs. So Nora and I met through the sexual reproductive health advocacy. Yeah. Then she's like, but we talk about condoms and sex. What are we going to talk about the SDGs? Then I was like, we're going to learn as we teach people. I kid you not, let's just do this thing. So then fast forward, Nora was in Kawe at the time. She moved back to Lusaka and said, let's do this radio thing. So we started hosting the Youth on SDGs every Sunday at 17 hours on Capital.
So do they pay you for such?
So no, it was just for free. So they said, we're giving you a
free slot. Yeah.
So I was like, we're going to take it. We're going to incur the costs. We're going to take it. So we started doing radio. So remember the SDG summit that happened in 2023, where I only attended a day and a half.
Yeah.
I got a contact of the person who was organizing the whole conference. Yeah. So then I connected with him on LinkedIn as well. So when we started radio in 2024, today actually, yes. We started on the 10th of February.
Oh, really?
2024.
Interesting.
Was our first show.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my God, it's 2 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we then started doing radio. So every time I would be on radio, I would always like record us and make videos, and I'll post on LinkedIn and Facebook just so that whoever didn't listen on radio could see what we were doing. So that was in February, and we only did like 4 shows. And then in March, this man by the name of Emmanuel texts me and says, hey, Olivia, we want someone to speak at the 10th Regional Forum on Sustainable Development, giving the youth perspective in Africa. But we want someone who's working around the SDGs. Have you been doing any work since last year? And then I was like, well, I'm running a show. I don't know if it counts. Then he was like, okay, send me some links. Let me have a look at it. Then I sent them to him. Then he was like, okay, great. The whole thing is going to be happening in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa is the one hosting it. I was like, shut up.
Did you scream?
I'm a girl. Obviously, I did. I was like, no way. So then he tells me, okay, send me your passport details, yada, yada. So then I tell my mom, my mom is an African parent. So then I'm like, how do I confirm? Yeah. So, but thankfully, he sent me a link to the official UN page where you have to give them all your details, because UN events are really strict. If you don't have accreditation, you don't get access to it. So then I filled it in. I was like, okay, this is legit. So then they told me to say, you're going to be in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia for 8 days. And that was like the first time I was traveling out without family or anything like that. So then I'm like, oh my God. And then they tell me things to read. At the time, the only SDG I knew was SDG number 3, good health and well-being.
Yeah.
And that's because of the sexual reproductive health I did. So I didn't know about all the other 16. And then they tell me about the voluntary national reviews, the voluntary local reviews. And I'm just like, shifi. But then I was like, okay, I'm going to learn. Because that was in March and the event was happening in April. So I was like, okay, I have enough time. So that's how I downloaded the documents, started reading, doing my research. And then they told me to say, your speech is 8 minutes long. And then after that, you're going to do a Q&A.
Okay.
And then now I look at the people that are so they send me the program, and I'm looking at the Deputy Secretary General, Amina J. Mohammed.
She was in that conference.
Yes, and I'm just like, oh my God. And there was a lot of resident coordinators. Resident coordinators were going to be in the space, and I'm just like, oh my God. I remember thinking to myself, maybe I should say I am sick and I can't go, because it's like big people, and I didn't even understand sustainable development as much as I do now. And also giving a perspective from the African young people, it was crazy, because I'm like, how do I know what people in Nigeria are going through?
And I should speak for them.
Yeah, so it was really something big. But then I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I reached Ethiopia. I was very excited. The first day was a youth workshop just to run us through what voluntary national reviews, local reviews were, for us to just get the perspective. And I remember I met some man from Ministry of Finance, Mr. Msonda, who was representing Zambia there.
Okay.
So I remember he was talking about, hey, young people, yada, yada. So I was like, okay, let me also give my youth perspective, because I'm from Zambia too. So I know what Zambian young people are going through. So then I kept the contact. So then day 1, day 2 was just the youth, and most of them were from Ethiopia. And then day 3 was when the big event came, and my session was on day 4. And I remember going there, and I couldn't point out any young person. I was super nervous, very, very scared. If you listen to that speech,
where is it? I need to. Is it on video?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I need to see it. Please, after this. Send me a link.
Yeah. So then I did the thing, and then I sat down, had a Q&A with the people that were there, and they were focusing also on SDG number 4 and SDG number 8, which is decent work and economic growth. And then after that, it was crazy. Like after the panel, everybody was just coming, asking for my card. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Did you have one?
I did.
Great.
So my mentors told me to say, go with business cards, go with this, go with an organization profile, so that even when they ask about your works, you have something to show for.
Yeah.
So we shared contacts, connected with a couple of people there, took pictures and all of that. Then I came back.
Okay.
So initially my thinking was, okay, yeah, this is good. We're done. Let's get back to radio.
Yeah.
And then so that was April. August, Mr. Msonda, the man that I met.
Yes, from Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, Ministry of Finance. So got in touch with me and said, we are putting up... Oh, and then while I was in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, I also took part in the African Youth Consultative Forum on the Summit of the Future.
Okay.
Again, I was hearing this for the first time. Nothing more Summit of the Future, but then they told me to say, okay, this is what's happening at the HQ in New York in September. So we're basically collecting information from different African young people to compile a position paper that was then going to be shared. So I was there, I got done with my work, and then I was told, since you are here, you might as well just attend this, and you also have accreditation. So I ended up attending the 2-day consultative forum for African young people that was also being organized by the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa. Then when I got back in August, Ministry of Finance called and said, we're doing a consultative forum for Zambia, and we want you to be a part of it. I was like, yeah, sure. Went there. It was a day's event. And then from there, I asked to say, are we going to have representation of young people at the summit? Because if we're going to have Zambia's position there, then we need young people that will speak for us, or at least stand in solidarity to say, yes, the youth of Zambia do agree. So then he was like, yeah, chilled. Again, all the time, the government doesn't have money. So I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. But for me, I continued doing the work, advocating for the SDGs and just like meaning for youth engagement. So September, yeah. So end of August, I was told, your name has been proposed to travel to New York with the Zambian delegation to the Summit of the Future in the United Nations General Assembly. I was like, okay. But then I was told, nothing is confirmed yet. We're still working with the budget.
Just a proposal.
Okay. Yeah, but then I was advised to do my visa. I did my visa. And then, so we ended up traveling together to New York. We did the Summit of...
How easy is it to get a visa to the US? Yeah, because right now they're telling us... but how easy, like the procedure? I know they are very keen on security, but is it easy?
I'm not sure on how easy it is because remember I was going with the Zambian delegation.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Okay, so there's an easy pass.
Yes.
Okay.
So because every time any ministry rather, is traveling somewhere and they need a delegation, they submit the names.
Okay.
So things like visa fees and all of that, I'm not sure if they with them or maybe the government ministry gets to pay for them, but usually all you have to do is submit your passport, your details and all of that, and then everything is going to be done for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so then we traveled to New York. We did the Summit of the Future, and we also did the United Nations General Assembly. I was there for.
Did you speak?
No, so unfortunately I did not. But
But
what
did you agree with the message that was being sent from our team to the conference? Because you mentioned to say your recommendation is carry youths who will, if they don't speak, at least they can acknowledge to say yes, we agree. Did you do that?
Yes. No, yes, we did.
You did.
Yes.
My question then to you is this: on this platform, we are promoting education and everything. What are the problems that the youths of Zambia are facing?
The problems are a lot.
Because I don't want people to go out of the country with imaginary problems.
The problems are a lot.
Yeah.
And I think the two most pressing problems right now is the high unemployment rates and also how excluding the systems are for the Zambian young people. Because remember, when we're speaking about sustainable development and youth leadership, we're saying, how can young people be meaningfully engaged? We don't want to be consulted. We want, if we're going to say 15% of the national budget is going to education, it should be because young people suggested that and they gave you the reasons and you heard, not because it sounds right or you agree with it. Okay. So we want young people to be given that space, but also we want jobs for our young people. Okay. There's a lot of young people that are unemployed today. They have good papers, good qualifications and all of that, but they just can't seem to get a job.
Somebody will argue and say, look, the young people, yes, they're educated, they have the papers, but are they ready for responsibility? Yeah. They can talk and do this, but when it comes to the work, they become careless. Are the young people ready?
Get it from me. Young people are ready for the responsibility.
So is it just more in saying we are ready, or we have to show that we are ready?
No, but we are showing that we are ready. We're doing the best we can.
Okay. So let me give you a challenge. You believe that you believe in volunteering as a means to leadership, if I'm not mistaken.
A pathway.
Yes. To leadership.
Yes.
And we have many people that are volunteering in hospitals, in schools. We call them the volos, okay?
Right.
And they go on strike to say, we've stopped, we've quit. Then are we ready if someone was given an argument to say, look, you are saying you are ready.
Right.
And as a youth advocate, besides education, you are saying that you believe strongly in volunteering as a pathway to leadership.
Yeah.
Okay? Why? Because you get to learn and get exposed to other people. So are we ready when we are quitting to volunteer?
Can I also give a practical example?
Yes, go ahead.
If we stripped off the cars, the sitting allowances and the salaries to the ministers and the members of parliament, would they continue going to parliament every single time?
Every single time?
Let's be practical.
I would say yes and no.
This one is not a matter of yes and no.
Okay.
If we stripped them off, because every time they're sitting in parliament, they're getting paid.
Yeah, they get an allowance for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whenever they travel,
but it comes with a position.
They travel, they get paid.
Yeah.
Some of them are given government vehicles, like people like permanent secretaries and the ministers and the cabinet, the entire cabinet office and the president. There's tight security. I understand the tight security for, because it's necessary. Yeah. But if we said these people if today we said when you are an MP, you are not getting paid anything. When you are a permanent secretary and a minister, you are not getting paid anything. How many people would wake up every day and go for work? So when we are saying young people are striking or they are on strike because they are tired, the truth of the matter is we are really tired. I am all for volunteering, but you volunteer from a full cup. If you are not okay emotionally, if you're not okay mentally, if you're not okay financially, chances are high that it's hard for you to show up for the people you want to show up for.
Okay.
So yes, volunteering is very essential because people are giving their time, their energy, their resources, but someone can give it for so long. You reach a point where you also have to look after your financial pocket. Because remember, these are young people that are coming from poor homes, right? Okay, humble backgrounds. Let me say poor. Poor is like strong.
Yeah.
These are people that are coming from humble homes where some of them have to walk to these hospitals for them to volunteer because they're telling you to say, look, I'm ready, I am fit for the job, but you can do it for so long. They're not giving you food, they're not giving you transport. You are just showing up every single time because you want them to know that you are ready. But you reach a point where you break down. Because even I'm thinking, if I didn't have means of surviving and if I didn't have other side hustles that I'm doing, I'm not sure I could be able to commit as much as I am. Because how do you commit when you haven't paid rent?
True.
How do you commit when you haven't eaten? How do you commit when your lotion is about to run out? So there's also that frustration. That's the reason why mental health issues are now a problem, because people are willing to give themselves, but the system is not rewarding them. Because also 2026 has been declared as International Year for Volunteers to basically support, recognize, and respect volunteers. So away from the recognition, yes, government will say thank you very much for your service and all of that, but can we support our volunteers? You know, we are not saying, because someone would even say, look, munganipa sachabelo 3,000 kwacha, but maybe the type of work they're doing, you have to pay them more. But what they're saying is, can I at least have something to eat, transport money, and my basic necessities? So yes, young people are ready, but if we're being honest, can the directors in these ministries wake up every day and do the work they're doing for free? The answer is no.
No. So would you say that there should be a policy in this country that all volunteers in any organization should be given some stipend or some allowance of a sort, or it has to be liberal or open?
Typically, volunteering is supposed to be for free because you are volunteering.
Yeah, a volunteer.
You know, you are a volunteer. But remember, we're talking about support and recognition. So if we're going to support and recognize them, we might as well do something for them. And also, we all know to say a lot of young professionals are volunteering or even internship. You can do 3 months, 6 months internship, but the reason why you're doing that is because you want to learn, but also you want the other person to know, to say, look, I am available for me to be put on the ground and get the work done. So you can't be an intern for 5 years.
You can't. Now,
you know,
a youth out there is saying, Ine, I want to volunteer at company X because there, barapelaka something. I cannot volunteer there. Is that a good attitude?
I think no, it's not. You have to be you have to understand and also write down your reasons for volunteering.
Okay.
Right? Because when you know why you're volunteering, it then becomes easier for you to understand what your priorities are.
Okay.
Sometimes people volunteer because, I have too much free time on my hands. So I might as well go teach the kids at a certain school. Or I might as well make some reusable pads for people.
Yeah.
And then some people would be like, I'm volunteering because I want work experience and nobody wants to hire me right now. So I'm willing to do your books, for example, if you're an accountant, for free, because I want to learn the skill and get the experience that I can use to go and apply for a job. So people volunteer for different reasons, and it's important for you as an individual or a young person to understand why you are volunteering and how that sort of translates into how you show up as well. Okay. Because most of the people, especially in the health sector, when there was COVID-19 and a bunch of other outbreaks, cholera and all of that, we saw a lot of medical personnel volunteering because they were thinking in return they would get a job because life is hard out there.
Were they abused, or they created their own notion to say, I'm sure we will get employed?
It's a little bit on both ends.
Yeah, a bit of both.
Because sometimes kulabati, you overpromise and then you find that you can't deliver. And then there's also the other aspect of over-expecting, and then you find what is given to you is different. So there was need for clearer communication on both ends, from government and from the people, And also because they said, if you don't want, you can stop. Because they knew to say, look, you're giving your services. But then again, it gets back to the whole idea of recognizing and protecting and supporting the volunteers.
Okay. We're almost wrapping up, but I'm interested in this volunteering thing. How can one know that I'm being abused as a volunteer? How long is too much? What is too much in volunteer work?
So there isn't a time frame on how long it is in volunteer work. People can volunteer for as long as I volunteered at Copperos for 4 years straight. 4 years, yes. but it was something I loved, and I would do it again and again and again because it gave me a whole different perspective towards life and the things that I now know were coming from that whole experience of volunteering.
Didn't you, in 4 years, I'm sure somebody was employed, someone was fired. Yeah. So didn't you feel unappreciated that you are there, you're volunteering, and people are working in? And yes, because you mentioned about recognition and appreciation, yes. Yeah. Did you ever feel that, am I Chibombelo? Yes, not really.
No.
Okay.
Again, it's all about identifying what it is you want from the volunteer opportunity and being upfront, because I do know that some people probably did reach out and say, yo, I'm here if there's an employment opportunity. Yes. And also the calls were being made public. So if you as a volunteer feel like you qualify, you might as well apply. But just because you're volunteering for an organization doesn't always translate into you being the first choice when there's an opening for a role. So I think that's something that young people should also understand, because we need to move away from being entitled. Because sometimes we feel like, no, because I'm doing this, so meaning I should get this. Again, define your objectives and your reasons for volunteering. Understand the dynamics. Understand what volunteership actually means. And then go for it. So for me, when I was volunteering with Corporos, it was more of I wanted something to do away from school. I had free time. Okay. I loved what I was doing, and it was fun. So I did it from that viewpoint. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to get a job, but I'm pretty sure there's probably other people that were doing it because they wanted to get a job. Some did, some got frustrated and they left. But I don't think it is wise for you to be entitled. So you have to identify and clearly ask when you are volunteering to say, if I'm volunteering here and there's an opening, would I be the first option? You know, so that if they tell you to say no, the criteria is whoever applies, we get the best. And if you're not the best, unfortunately, we won't take you. So you also have to be able to communicate effectively at the company you're volunteering, you're interning, or you are working, because sometimes we assume our boss or the human resource knows, but then they don't know what you haven't told them.
True. And they won't assume, say, this is what you are.
Exactly.
You founded YSD.
Youth on Sustainable Development.
Yeah, Youth and?
Youth on
Sustainable Development. And you have a 10-week program.
Yes.
Would you please highlight something about that?
So our goal is to train 10,000 young people by 2030 to speak into sustainable development advocacy, and we just want to empower young people into civic leadership, human rights, volunteering as a pathway to sustainable development, and a bunch of other things, different frameworks, Agenda 2063, Agenda 2030, and Zambia's National Development Plan. So it's a 10 weeks program, and our goal is to train 10,000 young people by 2030. I don't know if I've said that, but I just like saying it all the time. So what we want to do is equip young people, capacitate them, because sometimes the older generation says the reason why we are not involving you is because you people don't know what's going on. So we want them to not have an excuse as to why they're not involving us. So we're trying to make young people understand where we're coming from as humanity, where we are at, and where we hope to go, yes. So that way their ability to critically think and do research and all of that gets into play. Because remember, we say the reason why sometimes people can't really feed into what's going on or give solutions to what's going on is because they don't even know what's going on. So if we understand to say we started with the Millennium Development Goals and now we are at Sustainable Development Goals, someone will ask, but what's going to happen after 2030? That's what we want you to help us with. So that's what we're trying to do. It's basically equipping young people to understand global frameworks, to understand the conversations around development, where we're coming from, where we're going, and where we hope to go as humanity.
And talking about global frameworks, I almost said flameway.
It's okay. You're from the Copper Belt.
You see? Do you think as Africa, especially the African youths, that we fully understand our role and are ready to influence world policy?
We do have a long way to go.
Why?
We do have a long way to go because these are conversations that are not had on a daily, and this is not things that are being taught. It's now that I actually hear of people learning about sustainable development goals, but the sustainable development goals were adopted in 2015. The Agenda 2063, the Africa we want, was adopted in 2013. I got to know about them in 2023. So it's like
halfway.
There's a mismatch, you know. Yeah, so we have a long way to go because also, again, remember, people are just going to work because they want to do the work, get the money and go.
Yeah.
No one is asking why. No one is critically analyzing the landscape of the conversations that people are having. So remember, we also have to create the demand. That's the reason why I'm saying I'm all for pushing for people to go back to school so that that demand is created. It's the same thing with these conversations. How do we ensure that these people are invested in wanting to understand what the SDGs are, what Agenda 2063 is? And I kid you not, Zambia is a signatory to a lot of global frameworks, but sometimes they never really get to implement them locally.
On ground, yeah.
But you know why? No one is asking them. For example, the president will go for the mining endeavor, give his speech, maybe some signatures were signed here and there on what the next step is, but nobody knows what it was about. And even if the document is readily available on the ground, no one is going to take the interest in reading it. And if no one is questioning to say, no, but in 2026, February, you were in South Africa and you said yes to ABCD, why haven't we seen it? Chances are high that they will only do what they can do and leave the rest. They'll be like, it's fine. So we need more young people and more people in general, whether young or old, questioning what's going on and understanding this framework so that it's not just Olivia who's visiting the Ministry of Finance, always wanting her questions answered. Because the more we are who are speaking into these things, the quicker the response becomes from government or whichever stakeholder is involved.
Okay, brilliant. We have to wrap up now. Last segment is I'm going to say statements that I need you to finish.
However.
Yes, okay. However, you just have to finish it up. Okay.
I can...
No. I have one last question. Can you recommend one book that every young person in Zambia should read?
Every young person in Zambia should read. Wait, let me pronounce the word correct.
Is that the book you're reading?
It's the book that I'm reading. And the reason why I want us to read the book is because it was written by a Zambian.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me just find the book. It's called The Tyranny of Stupidity by P.S. Fumbachama.
Okay.
So it has
Fumbachama.
Yes.
PS.
The PS.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I just got a hang of the book and I haven't been able to put it down. I'm already on chapter 6 and I got it like 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
And there's so much critical analysis and also just him re-emphasizing the importance of critical thinking and people just analyzing a lot of things. And it's an amazing book.
Can I find it in any bookstores? If we can't find it, P.S. Chama, I'm Andrew Banda. I'm coming to your office to collect a copy. Thank you.
But I do know. So I actually got it because a friend of mine works for the publishing company that actually published it. Yes. So that's how I got a hang of it. So I'm sure maybe the publisher I could try and speak to my friend and see. But it is a great book. And one of the reasons why I'm saying we should read it is because it is by one of our own, yes. So this is someone who understands the landscape of Zambia and is giving perspective of the aspect of critical thinking and also just people putting a heart into the work they do. And for me, I believe if we can put a heart into the work we do, chances are high that we are going to move from a developing country to a developed country, maybe in the next 15 years or by the time we're hitting 2050, because there's so much to learn from that book. And also him being an activist before and getting into government and now writing a book, I think he's giving a holistic viewpoint from being a young person to being an activist to now being in the system and seeing what's happening there, to basically weaving it all together and putting it into a box. So if you're a young person and you want to really understand things like cognitive biases, critical thinking, analytical skills, and all of that.
The Zambian context.
The Zambian context.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's an amazing... Of course, it's a little bit...
Tyranny
technical.
of Stupidity.
Yes.
I love the title.
I know.
Okay.
I know, yeah.
So let's try and finish this. You have to be quick. Ready when you are. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. One Zambia.
One nation.
Education is the greatest.
Equalizer.
Education in Zambia will truly work when?
Education in Zambia will truly work when we give...
Yeah.
Let's see that again.
Education in Zambia will truly work when?
We localize the system, I think.
You think? Okay. The future is?
Both. The future is not female. The future is both.
Both male and female. Yes.
The future is both male and female.
I know. I said that. Then, last but not the least, educating the.
I don't know. Educating the people.
The people? Okay, education, the future.
Educating the future, educating the people.
Yes, the people. True. Thank you very much, Olivia.
Thank you for having me.
This has been, I think we can go on and on and on and on. There's a brain in you, and I'm glad that you brought out a lot of things. I believe you're going to come to this platform again. That I believe, because I also do some works that I think you hinted on, but it's not for this conversation.
Right.
So Olivia Tutu, I know you are very famous. So there's
subjective.
Yeah, you should have an army somewhere waiting to hear from you. So speak to your army and we can wrap it up from there.
Oh, guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's been supporting me. But also, one of the reasons why the work started is because we want to see young people speaking into these conversations. And sometimes when we are home and we haven't been exposed, we think we are not cut out for the future, or we're not cut out for these spaces and these conversations. The only way you can do this is if you read, research, and always ask questions. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for making it and making this episode great. I've enjoyed my time with you, and we are the ZED Education Podcast. Please make sure where's the phone? So on Facebook, check ZED Education TV.
Okay.
When you go to YouTube or TikTok, you find the ZED Education Podcast. This is the only education podcast in the country, and we are for everything education, whether you're talking formal or informal. This is the place to be. Thank you very much for joining us. Join us again next week for yet another great episode. And guess we have a surprise guest coming this year, and we're looking forward to making that happen. Olivia Tutu, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Signing out.